Hello, Davy.
Good evening, Mr. Wood.
How are you in Bonnie Dundee?
No snow.
No snow. Swap you. It's snowing here in mid-Yale.
Nope.
Wait a minute.
Thank you.
Who needs Joy Dunlop and Callum McCall on the show when we've got the whole country covered between the two of us, Snodley? You can do the
snow is heading down from Shetland. If it gets Dundee, then I'll tell you when.
Yeah, and you can keep it. Don't send it back away. That'll be good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen all over the globe. It is fantastic to have you with us once again. Fantastic to see so many people tuning in to begin with tonight. Remember and share a boot. This is going to be a great show tonight. We've got the award-winning champion fiddle player, accordion player, piano player. I heard her playing a banjo the other night in a session. She plays all sorts of things, guitar, everything.
I like you've told me about the banjo while we're on air, so I can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if she plays the banjo all the time, but I did hear in a session the other night at Cullabo up Hell, and I heard her rattling away tuning the banjo. Anyway, We've got the one and only from Vladivoster in Shetland. We've got Maggie Adamson coming on, and Maggie is also an incredible sailor, so we'll be talking about that right through the night as well. So lots of folk joining in there. Hello, Brian Forrest in the Borders. Brian could be our third point down, couldn't he? I could start the weather forecast here, then Dundee, and then we could have Brian down in the Borders.
We could do, actually.
Yeah, and then we could do away with the BBC altogether. Oh no, we wouldn't do that.
No, because Joy and Callum got
Joy and Callum's good one. So absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep sharing about. Remember, we're on the Facebook channels that you're watching on. You can also watch the show on YouTube.
Yes,
so if you want to see us on the big screen, go for it. And we're also on Twitter. So it's fantastic to have you. Hi, Davy Cormack. There's Davy down in Hamilton. Good man. Great box player. So, Davey, I think you'll enjoy this show tonight. This is an incredibly talented young lady. What's been on with you this week, Davey? Onahan?
This week, nothing exciting, to be honest with you.
Well,
exciting this week.
Ken, last night I played just a nice wee charity do up in Unst for a couple of hours, and it was for a group called Oot and a Boot, and it's a group for over 60s.
You've settled in well then?
I knew that was coming. How did I know that was coming? Yeah, I've booked my place in the care home up there, so I'm all right. They're quite a good bunch. A wee, nice wee
Karen
drinks, No, I haven't told her yet, but I will in a wee while. But anyway, it was a brilliant night. There was over 100 folk in Baltussoon Hall, and it was just magic. Really, really enjoyed it. It was great. There's Rosina joining us from America, the USA. And Crawford.
No. Rosina Blair's in Canada, I think.
Oh, sorry. So she is. That's right. Mark's no. He's in Dysart. As in the famous
Viola's in Boston.
That's right, yeah. And Alan Taylor is in Afford. So brilliant that everybody's joining us. Fantastic.
I'd like to apologise to all our viewers who are on kind of watch lists for either the Taxman or for any undetected crimes, because Peter's just told them where you live, so it's his problem. It's not me that's done it, it's him.
No phone numbers yet. There's Derek Owen saying hello. Right, brilliant. Listen, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very mixed show here. We have different things. So we decided earlier on to play Pete and Diesel's new track, didn't we, Davey?
Yes.
Pete and Diesel, the Western Isles phenomenon.
Stornoway, born and bred. It's actually a very, very traditional track. I don't think people realise that. It's very traditional, and it's one of these songs, very much of the storytelling idiom. Yeah. And I just think they've put a very nice spin on it, making it their own. So yeah, it's a cracking traditional song.
This is a new project to requested songs. They're going to do covers of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's some name for you to say there, but we had a message from that last person there saying that they'd bought Maggie Adamson CDs in Shetland when they were there, and really looking forward to hearing it.
Fantastic.
So off we go. So Pete and Diesel first, a wee bit different than Maggie's going to be, I can assure you, but we're going to have a varied programme after that. So here's Pete and Diesel. Keep sharing about while this is on, get the kettle on, whatever you want, and then we'll have Maggie on when we get back.
Here's Pete and Diesel with that traditional song, Maria.
She walks like she don't care, smooth as silk, cool as hair. Oh, and it makes you wanna cry. Or she doesn't know your name, and your heart beats like a subway train. Oh, and it don't care. Walking on imported air. Oh, it makes you wanna die. Maria, you gotta see her. Going insane and out of your mind. Latina, va Maria. A million and one candlelights. Maria, you gotta see her. Going insane and out of your mind. Latina, va Maria. A million and one candlelights. Maria, you gotta see her. Going insane and out of your mind. Latina, va Maria. A million and one candlelights.
Amazing. That's Pete and Diesel, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, quite
Yes.
fancy Uli when he's got that blonde wig on.
Yeah, maybe just leave that in your own mind.
He's quite an attractive woman, really.
Start-
They would fit in really well at Up Helly dressed like that, by the way.
Probably. Did they notice? Did they
They
notice?
noticed
That's
them.
fantastic.
If they turned up like that, thing they were going to be something different. They would just blend in with the crowd. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Lots and lots and lots of people joining us tonight, but there's always room for more. So keep sharing. And please keep your comments coming in, folks, because would you believe it? The more comments you put in, the more popular this show gets on
Popular.
Facebook, etc.
Gonna
We
be
get more and more hits because of that. It's got, what is it? Algorithm? What?
algorithm.
Algorithm.
I
Algorithm.
just like to point out that Peter has like a high school education, kind of.
Wasn't I went to a very good school.
Yeah, he didn't finish it though.
It was a special school I went to. It was very, very good. It was good. Anyway, right. So, listen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We do have on the one and the only. I've known this lady since she was at school, and even gave her some accordion lessons when she was at school. And we'll talk about that as we go along. But I've known her since before the accordion lessons, when she was about 3 foot high, standing playing in a group called New Tradition. And I played piano with them in an album which came out about 24 years ago or something like that. And that was the start of knowing all these people. And so we've played lots and lots of music over the years, so it's fantastic. She has been incredibly successful. She's an absolute ambassador for Shetland, for music and sailing, and just been an awful nice buddy, really. So let's bring on the one and only Maggie Adamson. Hi, Maggie. Whoa. There she is. Hi, Maggie. Can you hear us? Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, are you hearing us now, Maggie? No, we've kind of lost her just now. But what we'll do is we'll play the first track here, Davey, and I'll get on the phone and ask Maggie to sign out and sign back in again, see if we can help it that way. Okay, so here is Maggie and Brian Nicholson in the Queen's Hall, and hopefully we'll have her back on by that time. We'll see you in a bit. Fantastic playing, and hopefully we've got Maggie Adamson with us, have we?
Yeah, and I can actually hear you as well.
Hey, brilliant. Perfect.
Hi Maggie, how are you doing?
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry if there's a wee bit of blip with internet. It's snowing like blazes in Shetland tonight, so there is a good chance that's got something to do with it as well. How are you getting on, Maggie? Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Brilliant. I'm hoping tonight that Davy Hunter's going to ask lots of questions as well, because I've known you for so long and know all about you, and I'm hoping he comes up with some of the things that he doesn't know about you. You know, I think it'd be really good. So, anyway, listen, that was a fantastic start off there. That was a Queen's Hall concert with you and Brian Nicholson playing. What were the two tunes there? There was
It's 3 tunes. I learnt them. There was a few years ago at the folk festival that they did a sort of project where they took people together from around Scandinavia. So there was 4 people from Shetland, Norway, Finland and Sweden, and we came together for a week before the Shetland Folk Festival and swapped tunes and had a good time, and the aim was to make a set to play at the Saturday night concert at the Folk Festival, and that was the set tunes that we learned for that. So I can't pronounce all the names. The last one translates as a Delirium's polka, so you can tell it's pretty upbeat.
Yeah, it's got some kind of high notes in it.
Yeah, some of those harmonics as well, so they sound trickier than they are. I like that kind of tune.
Yeah, so that's really interesting because of your playing, and we'll go back on this in a wee while. We'll go back to where you started, etc., etc. But you, when you went to Glasgow, you done the classical course, and I think that really shines through in your technique and playing, etc., etc., because you handle stuff like that like no problem at all. Whereas some people would find that really, really difficult. You just go in there and do it.
Yeah, it was a bit of practice behind the scenes, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't meaning you didn't practice, but because I know you never stopped practicing. In fact, I think if you weren't sailing, you were playing an instrument. I think that was really
what happened. Interesting with the traditional and classical. So I'd always done that right from when I started. So I started off traditional and then very quickly did classical at the same time. Just exactly what you're saying. With the technique, and it really helps in every style of tune, because at the end of the day it's the same instrument no matter what genre that you're playing, which is fantastic. Yeah. And
the fiddle was your first instrument, wasn't it? The fiddle was the first. Yeah. And what attracted you to it? Why the fiddle?
I think I'd seen it around in Shetland, and I just set my heart on wanting to play the fiddle. Dad was convinced that he was into his country and Western music, so he was convinced that I wanted to play the guitar, and I was like, no, I want to play the fiddle. He said, what about the electric guitar? And I said, no, I want to play the fiddle. Oh, Maggie, you want to play the lap steel? It's like, no, I'll play the fiddle.
Is that why every Christmas and birthday you always got cowboy boots and a Stetson under? To put that into context, your dad is an absolutely a country fanatic, isn't he? I mean, where you are now, there was the whole bar at the back was all done out in the country style. And
yeah, that's right. He's got to move down to a garage down in the south side of Shetland now. It's still pretty impressive.
Right, yeah, it was quite a place, and he's got the American Cadillacs and all sorts of things, isn't he? Yeah. But you're at Fladabister with Mum there, and Mum's been a huge encouragement to you right through your playing all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I can remember your mum just driving you about like a taxi driver constantly, taking you here, there, everywhere. And then as you got further in your career, it was fly you here, there, everywhere, because it was quicker than sailing. But you still kept going back to the sailing every so often. So, but talking of sailing, the next wee track we're going to have here, Maggie, we'll go back to where you learned and what you went through and things in a wee while. The next one is a tune called The Swan. And it was Katrina that wrote The Swan, wasn't it? Am I right in saying it was Katrina, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Katrina Mackay from the Fiddler's Bid. So they wrote it after a trip that Fiddler's Bid were on The Swan. And it was originally, I think on the original version, it starts off with Katrina on the clarsach playing. It's a really nice arrangement of it.
Right. And for all you folks at home, The Swan is a boat. How do we describe? It's a tall ship, though, isn't it?
Well, we're one of the period tall ships, but yeah, we get to go into the tall ships races. So it's built in 1900. It's a traditional herring drifter. She's wooden boat, 65 foot long, 2 masts, and still does traditional sailing and teaches it to bairns and adults.
And now you are skipper aboard this very boat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is fantastic because you've worked your way up to that over the time. So we'll speak about that in a wee while as well. But this is a tune written for the boat that you are now skipper of, played by you on the fiddle. What a link that, Davey, eh?
2 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
That is the Swan, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the Swan, yeah.
I warned Maggie about this, that Davey comes up with things like a flash and a pan here as we go through. So lots of sales going on there, ladies and gentlemen. Maggie is in charge of that thing, which is amazing. I struggle to park my car at Tesco's, and Maggie drives that thing about. So that's quite cool. So that's brilliant. That's the Swan, and she takes out training and all sorts of things. But we'll speak about that in a wee while. Let's have the Swan. This is Kirsten Henry playing the piano with you this time, and I think this is at the Accordion Club in Lerwick in Shetland, is it? The Accordion
that's right.
Club. Beautiful tune. Enjoy, folks at home. Yeah, it's a really bonny tune, isn't it? It's lovely. I think it gets the character of the Swan, that one, actually. I think it really does. Is Maggie with us, or is she frozen again?
Yeah, on a night train.
That's all right. Keep moving tonight in case you think you've frozen. It's just dance about or so. It's cool. So, Maggie, taking you back, I would say when you left school, the fiddle competing competing in competitions started for you quite young?
Yeah, I think my first competition was when I was 9, and I went down to what was then the competitions in Musselburgh at the Brunton Theatre, and that was fantastic. And I think at that point it was such a good venue for it because you could meet everybody backstage. And I went down to do the fiddle side, but I met Keith Dixon and met him with his accordion players, and I think that's where the love of dance music kind of started. So he got me involved to play in the trios with band again, and that kind of went from there. So you're down and you're learning how to play in bands and trios and with different people, and it's just it's what a great thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I was lucky enough when about 10 years ago, remember we done a broadcast for the town hall, and you played fiddle in my band with a 5-piece for that one, and then you played with us in the dance band for a few years as well, and then started sailing all over the world. But you've had a fantastic career. Now, you have been incredibly successful with these competitions as the years went on. I don't think there's any you've not won, if I'm correct in saying that. I remember going down to Oban to accompany you in piano once. That was the invitation one, wasn't it? But you've won that as well, haven't you? Yeah. I don't think you won it the year I was there. That's probably because I was playing piano right enough, but there we go. Aye. So, but tell us, Glenfiddich, you entered Glenfiddich as well.
Glenfiddich was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that competition. Partly because it was a bit of a goal, so it was like an all-year sort of event to get there. And then what a setting at Blair Castle, and the setting and the audience as well. So it's felt like a concert rather than a competition. And especially you got to play 3 sets as well. So it was a proper scope of all of the styles. It wasn't just one tune or one set. So I think it was just a great format for a competition.
So with that, Maggie, I know that the piping one there's you got to compete in certain competitions and win them to qualify. Is it similar with the fiddle? Was it?
Yeah, for Glenfiddich it was. So there's a circuit of about half a dozen competitions. I think Musselburgh, Oban, Perth, Bankery. There's Kirriemuir. There's a few more. So yeah, you had to do well throughout the year and then to get the invite to go to Oban or Glenfiddich. But unfortunately, Glenfiddich for the fiddle is no longer, which is a crying shame.
Yeah.
But,
That is a shame. Yeah, but how many times did you win that then?
I won it twice.
Yeah, that's quite amazing.
A few more times.
Yeah, but it's pretty good going to win it twice. There's not some people have entered it lots of times and never won it. Though.
Peter's never won it.
I've never won it because Maggie heard me play the fiddle.
One of the biggest influences or helps on the competition scene was Douglas Lawrence, who I went to lessons to when I started going down south. And what a phenomenal player and teacher, and just such a vast knowledge in all the Northeast style. And he was taught by Hector McAndrew as well. So he was just having a lot of history that's being passed down there. So I owe that a lot to Dougie.
And an absolute character at the same time.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the lesson. So you every time.
Who was it? He's a great football supporter as well. I'm sure, was it Bucky Thistle he supports or something, isn't it? Yeah, Bucky Thistle. And I remember driving home one night in the car and the sports programme came on and this voice came on. I know that voice. And it was him phoning in to complain about offside rules or something like that. It was quite amazing. So, but no, he was a fantastic musician. But also, back home in Shetland, you had Alan Gifford taught you right through to begin with as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So my very first teacher was Bernadette Porter, and then for a few years, and she got me got the bug enthused, and then I went to Alan Gifford, who was fantastic, and it was Alan that really did the classical and the traditional with me all the way through school.
Yeah.
I had Alan for primary school and then all the way through high school. So I owe Alan a big thanks for getting into me and that sort of thing. Great.
Fab. Great. Right. Let's have another wee track while we're here. This time, you were playing with Brian earlier on. This is Arthur, Brian's son, in the guitar this time. This is a bit of a video that he's done for Keith Festival. I should mention, by the way, going back, Brian and Maggie have loads of albums out, loads of CDs. Where's the best place to buy them from, Maggie? That's from High Level, is it?
Yeah, you can phone up High Level, I think, if you're not in Shetland.
Yeah, that's High Level Music in Lerwick. Davey, I can see him looking for it. He's on it.
Yeah, don't think this is an online shop. Anyway, yes.
So anyway, so there we go. So if anybody, because we're allowed to plug that shop because Maggie's mum owns it, so that's fair enough. But anyway, that's what we want to do in this show anyway. So if you're ever looking for stuff, Shetland music and that, get in touch with High Level Music.
Yep.
And Lerwick, Shetland. Davey will find some details, hopefully, and it'll be well, and that'll be cool. And anyway, here's you and Arthur playing something you recorded for Keith Festival, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was right. It was when in lockdown, when everything went online, then we got asked to do a part for their virtual concert. And it was a really bony day. So this is us sitting at the end of the garden, I think, if it's that video, and just sitting playing a few tunes.
I would imagine when you were doing this, your mother was doing gardening in the background, probably.
Yeah, and making funny faces behind the camera and all that kind of jazz.
Anyway, is it some reels here we're getting, I think? So tell us, can you mind what they were?
Set of reels. If I remember this right ones, I think this is a set of traditional Shetland reels. So it's Spirit of Whiskey, followed by Sleep Soon in the Morning, which usually go together, and finishing up with another traditional one, Ut Bies de Bong.
Brilliant. Here we go. Fantastic. I thought she'd gone and left us there, David.
So did I.
Small delay there, but never mind.
I'm here.
That's okay. That's brilliant. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you happen to be in Fladibus or in Shetland on a summer day, you might just drive past and there might be folk having a tune at the bottom of the garden. That's the way it works. Yeah. Anyway, remember to keep the comments coming in, folks. We love to see your comments and let us know where you are in the world. We love knowing where you are in the world. It's fantastic to know where you are. In fact, shout out tonight. Let's have everybody putting in, please. Let's putting comments in where you are in the world. That would be fantastic. We want to hear from everybody tonight. Don't be shy, even if it's Dundee.
Hey.
Anyway, Maggie, going back to can we pop back to the music's been a huge part of your life. You played the accordion with me a bit at the school and all that as well, but sailing has been another passion of yours since you were really young, hasn't it?
Yeah, I started. Well, I've always been on the water. So my uncles had their own fishing boat, and I've always been on the water since I was really pretty. But I started sailing properly when I was about 11, and again, just absolutely loved it. And I got the chance to go and do a lot of the regattas around Shetland and get to the racing side of things. So being a competitive person, then that was right up my street. And yeah, kind of taking it from there. And just like music, it's amazing the places that you get to go and the people that you get to meet. And yeah.
So tell us then, how did that start then? You started off sailing, I don't know the difference between all these boats. Was it dinghies or something like that?
Yeah, I started off dinghies, so it's the smaller type of boats. So I started off in that and went south for some competitions and kind of was in the right place at the right time, and then got invited to go into the Scottish squad and British squad for a couple of events, and then you get to meet more people and see different boats and get kind of one thing to another, and just slowly over the years the boats have got bigger and bigger. So
yeah, but the racing's taking you all over the world as well, because every time I look in your Facebook page, you're in Spain or going round the coast to somewhere else or out in the Barbados or somewhere. You're all over the place.
It's fantastic. That kind of came around in lockdown. There was a group of people, long story short, there's a group of people that we were meant to be going down and doing some coaching together, but COVID hit, so it all went online, and the coach started doing sessions and lessons and things with us online. So I was joining in with about 15 people that were all in England, and I was in Shetland, so I could still get the coaching. It didn't matter where you were, and that carried on the whole way through lockdown until they said, right, well, so and so is looking for a crew and you're looking for a skipper, so why don't you come down and try one race? So I went down to Hamble for one race and ended up sailing the rest of the season, and been sailing with Gavin since then. So it's been fantastic, really great opportunity.
Fantastic. So does the fiddle go with you?
Oh yeah, maybe not always, because you've got to watch your weight, what you can bring and everything else. But yeah, definitely comes with me for a lot.
But you must have found playing the fiddle's been great when you're away on all these sailing trips as well, because it's such a good way of meeting people, isn't it, and entertainment, etc.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And music is a common language for everywhere that you go. So it's just great, and people so like them as well, and everybody can join in, or you can appreciate it and have a tune, and it changes the atmosphere and gets people involved, and it's just fantastic.
Have you any memorable overseas trips with the sailing that you can remember playing the fiddle that stick out for you?
A few. Recently, we were over in Italy racing, and it was pretty intense racing. We were doing probably 2-day or 3-day offshore full-on racing, and then we'd be ashore for 2 days, and then we'd go and do another 3-day race. And this was about a month long. And I remember we all got ashore about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, very last day after the month of racing. And everybody was so shattered and so delighted all at the same time. We went to breakfast, and the bottles of wine started flowing, and we started singing and joining in. And it was such a party about 8 o'clock in the morning after no sleep.
Fantastic. Just felt like being back home in Shetland then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Breakfast. Yeah, it's cool. We'll talk about all your overseas trips on the musical front as well in a wee while. But one of the, you've been touring quite a bit, haven't you, with Leonard Brown, doing a duo show lately. And I think the next track we're going to have is you and Leonard playing the French tune style Musette. But tell us, how did you and Leonard get together then? How did that end up happening?
I played with Leonard when I was at uni. So Leonard was also based in Glasgow for a bit, and we did quite a few box and fiddle clubs around. And then he asked me to come and sit in with this big band on a couple of CDs. So that was 2014, 15, somewhere about there. And then, as you say, I went around sailing around the world and hadn't really played much. And it was just last year that Leonard phoned up and asked if I'd be interested in joining in with a CD and doing some gigs around it. And I thought, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. So that's how it came about. And Leonard organised a tour about this time last year that we went away and did, I think it was something like 14 nights in a row. So it was just great after not having gigs for a couple of years to get back and play music every evening. And
you're doing a tour soon again with Leonard as well, fairly soon.
Yeah, that's right. So we just finished recording an album. It was about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I was down. We were down in Castletown. It's a great studio. And getting stuck in music again, all the arrangements. And we're doing 5 nights at the end of March. I think there's still some tickets available for that, and that's going to be the CD launch. And then we're doing a longer tour in November.
Fantastic.
A lot of the material off of this album and the one before.
Because my mum was on the phone today, and hopefully you're maybe going to Crawford John again to see that.
Yeah, I think that one's on the list. Yeah, that's a great time.
We better give your granny Isabel a shout out as well in Granton and Spey while we're on here, because she's a great follower, and she used to put us all up when we went down to Granton and Spey to play for Hogmanay with you guys. It was great fun. That was the big open air one we used to do. There was thousands of people in the front there. It was just amazing. Great gig to do. Brilliant.
Yeah, it didn't matter what the weather was. Everybody just got out. That's when I loved to play with gloves on.
I remember trying to play one. I couldn't feel my bass buttons in my accordion by the end of it. They were just gone. They were just disappeared. I may as well be playing it. Yeah, thanks very much, Davey. Davey always likes to build my playing style up here, Maggie. This is good. Anyway, right, let's have Leonard and Maggie. Here you go, folks, playing style music. Fantastic playing, guys. Fantastic. Really good. Really nice. Maggie, what have you got plans? Tell us a wee bit about the dance band. You've ended up playing with quite a few dance bands. In fact, I think you were on Take the Floor on Saturday night with Neil Barnes' band as well.
Yeah, that's right. That was recorded a pretty while ago, but no, it was great. When I was down in Glasgow, one of the good things, again, going back to learning the classical music, is that Alan Gifford was really pushed me and taught me how to learn music as well, so that I could sit in with any band and kind of read the dots. So it was great. I get a phone call and say, our fiddle player's taking or can't make it on Saturday. I'd really come and do a gig. And I love doing that because you play different tunes to different bands and you didn't book yourself up way in advance either. So it was a great, really enjoyed that. So I played with Andrew Gibb, trying to top of my head. So Colin Dewar, Neil Barron, yourself, just lots of different bands. Colin Brown, John Burns, Nicky McMeekin.
Yeah, because that was the Full Scottish, wasn't it? You played with as well. That's a great name for a band, the Full Scottish.
Yeah, that's right.
That's another breakfast thing, keeps me reminded. So, have you played in Dundee much? There's the thing.
She has.
Aye.
A few times.
Yeah. I think now, who did we have on that was speaking from Dundee, Davey? We had...
Me.
No, you, but the singer we had on as well that was talking about the archives. Remember that Maggie had been on a month. Sheena Wellington's run the archive. What was that archives called again?
The Whiting Centre.
The Whiting Centre, yeah, that's right. Maggie had been in there.
I remember doing a gig there. Brian and I played for a recital there, and it was a lovely venue. Really nice for the audience as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, playing with these dance bands has also taken you to some very interesting places.
So I've just come back from playing with... Sorry.
No, on you go.
Just come back from Georgia playing with Nickel McLaren and the Glenn Craig bands. So that's a gig that we had out there, playing for a bun supper and a ball and dance, which was fantastic. It's just amazing how far Scottish music travels.
Where was that you were with them? Sorry, it just broke up a wee bit.
In Tbilisi in Georgia.
All right, fantastic. And then, do you not do a regular one with Neil Barron out in Singapore or somewhere as well? Yeah,
I did that for about 6 years. I think Neil Barron's done it for over 30 years with the Singapore St Andrews Society. So that was over in November for St Andrews Ball. That was what an event.
I remember one of the early times you went there, you being a great Celtic supporter, were very impressed because you got a pint that was coloured green.
That's right, green and white pint right down at the river. Yeah.
Davey, I tried to think what your pint would look like as a Dundee United supporter, orange and black kind of looking thing. It might be interesting. So,
Aye, yeah. Aye.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
So, so you've been really lucky though, Mike, getting all over the place. But you haven't you've diversified too. It hasn't always been Scottish music. I mean, we're not having it tonight, but you did play with the Hot Club thing for a wee while and bits and pieces. So you have diversified out. You've played classical, you've played Scottish. You kind of turn your hand at whatever's requested, don't you?
It's a bit like that, yeah. It's just anything that you enjoy, then I'd like to give a go. So my iTunes or my playlist is pretty eclectic.
Yeah, brilliant. The next track we're going to hear is a tune, I think it's a tune you wrote yourself, is it? It's called Ian's Waltz. And we're going to credit Nick. What's Nick's surname again? I was speaking with Nick today again. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his surname.
I think you pronounce it Brandestini, but
Brandestini. Yeah, Nick's from Switzerland. And I was speaking to him today up at the spaceport, and he done this video for you though, and it's an incredible video. It's a really, really well done video. So tell us a wee bit about the tune.
So the tune I wrote for Ian Nicholson, a Tresta, and Ian's been the engineer on this one for since it started, more or less, and he's been so good with me, just taking me through, fix everything, and just being at the end of the phone if I need anything done, and just a real gentleman. And Ian likes his American tunes, so if we're sitting having a tune on deck, then he'll request things like Tennessee Waltz and the Chopin Farewell and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to write a tune for him in that sort of a style, so that's the kind of basis of it.
Fantastic. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to Nick Bernastini. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like that for the video. Thank you. Here we go. Absolutely beautiful.
Lovely.
A cracker. You certainly got the style there. Davey, have you? I'm kind of losing folk here a wee bit by delays. Davey, have you anything you want to ask here? I'm sorry.
Obviously the style of playing that you've got is very much a mixture of Shetland and kind of like a classical style. Is there any other styles that you kind of draw inspiration from when you're playing, or is it just kind of your own style you've created over time?
It's a really interesting question, that one. I think when you're playing a certain style of tune, then you try and so if you're playing a Strathspey, then you try and make it a northeast style, or if you're playing a Shetland reel, then you try and get that sort of bone in it and that sort of thing. So I try and do that as much as I can, and then I suppose it's you just put your own dialect on it, even without thinking.
Can I just say, you know how you said Davey's question was really interesting? Does that mean my questions have been not interesting.
Yep.
I have to think more about that question.
Oh, well done. That was a good recovery. Right. No, but brilliant. So what kind of things have we got coming up, Maggie? What's coming up? We were talking about there's the tunes on the Swan coming. That's a really interesting project.
Mm.
Yeah, it's also Barry Nisbet from Collivo is doing, over the last few years, his sessions in sail, and he's got a boat that he uses on mainland Scotland in Orkney, and then last year was the first time that he's used a Swan, and it's a 5-day trip that you book on. And last year it was great fun. What we did was we sailed for the morning, so we sailed to Skerries, maybe from Vidlin, or where else do we go, Cullivo and Lerwick, and then in the afternoons there's maybe a few workshops, so we learn some tunes, and then in the evenings just sit around and play tunes. And then we go sailing again the next day. So it's a great trip. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one again in April, and we'll be tying up in Lerwick just in time for the folk festival.
Davey, I think you and me would absolutely love that, apart for the sailing bit.
Yeah, probably.
Can we sign up just for the tunes?
Come for the tunes, yeah.
That'd be good. No, but it sounds great. So, any other things going on? You've got the tour with Leonard. You're back. You're skipper in the Swan all summer again, aren't you? So that's a busy full-time kind of.
Yeah, busy. So that's April to September. So I'm really looking forward to that. This year we've got the tall ships coming up, and the Swan's actually taking part in every leg of the tall ships this year. So that's about 7 weeks, which is great fun.
So what kind of places is that taking you this year then? Where is that going to take you to?
It starts in Downhelder. So if anybody's interested in this one, there's still spaces for anybody to join us from Scotland over to Downhelder in Holland. And then it's tall ships from Holland back to England in Hartlepool, and then up to Fredrikstad in Norway, south coast of Norway, over to Shetland. Sail Yell is happening, so we'll be going up to Cullivo and I think Baltasound, yet to be confirmed, back to Lerwick, and then finishing up in Arendal again on the south coast of Norway.
I think I'll sign Davey up for that first leg of the journey, and he could do a running commentary every day, just how he's getting on. That would be quite good. That would be really entertaining for the folks at home, I'm sure.
The sea sickness only lasts about 2 days. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so lots going on through there. What about music? Just bits and pieces as they come in, or? Yeah,
bits and pieces. It's been quite busy with music at the start of the year, which has been really good. So got stuck into that the last couple of months, and then got the tour with Leonard in November later on, and the usual Hogmanay down at Granton and Spey, and we'll just see what else comes in.
And you do a fair bit of tutoring when you're home and able, when you've got time as well.
Yeah, I really enjoy the teaching. I'm lucky in the pupils that I've got just now, and so that's really good, and try and fit that in as often as I can when I'm home, and extra lessons for people doing grades and exams and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Before we finish off with your last track tonight, but a huge thank you for coming on anyway. But another thing, the last track we're going to finish with another band that you got involved with, or an artist, was Donny Monroe, the former frontman of Runrig. And you've ended up in Donny's band now. How did that happen then?
Well, that was a phone call when I was at uni. Oh, sorry, that's our cuckoo clock, if you can hear that. I got a phone call when I was at uni saying that Donny was interested in starting an acoustic band. So he'd been playing with a rock band and he wanted to try something different and start an acoustic band, and he was looking for a fiddle player to come in and play. And so I didn't really know much about it. I'd never played for singers before, so I was totally out of my depth, and but I got told to just go and give it a go. So I went up to Portree. Donny invited me up with the other guitar player that was playing, and we had about 10 hours of rehearsals over a couple of days just to go through all the songs and get the riffs and motifs, and it was great fun. And so that was 2011, I think, maybe. Wow. And the first gig was Celtic Connection, so no pressure. But it must have gone all right, because he asked me back, and it's been great. We did a bit of a tour after that, and been lucky enough to travel through Germany and Denmark, and been asked to play with a big band as well, which is just great fun, standing playing with a rock band. That's something I've always wanted to give a go to, and Donnie's just been great to work with as well.
I noticed that Elizabeth Lawrenson, you know Elizabeth up in Lerwick's, just put on I Can Hear the Cuckoo. Now, I hope that she's hearing it online and not just from your house to Lerwick, or you've got the loudest cuckoo clock in the world. But no, it must be great fun playing with Donnie as well, and it's just a different experience altogether, isn't it? And doing all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, totally, and he gives you a lot of like freedom in the tune, so he knows what kind of things that he wants to hear, and then you can make up the tunes and get a chance to nick all the lead guitar lines when they're not there as well, and have a bit of fun with that. So it's something different.
Well,
it's when you're playing in the rock band and you start the lead guitar bit without them. Oh, this is not my bit anymore. Hold on.
But listen, Maggie, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know our internet's been a wee bit jumpy in that, but we've still heard you all the time, which is fantastic. We wish you all success with the music and the sailing all year. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on. And we are going to finish off with a track with you playing with Mr. Monroe. And it's, of course, one of the biggest hits that Runrig ever had with Loch Lomond. So I'm sure the folk are going to absolutely thoroughly enjoy this at home. Maggie, thanks a bundle. And take care of yourself. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. Thank you.
Brilliant. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.
We parted
think we should point out there, David, that was actually two bands playing there, wasn't it? It was Donny
Was
Monroe's
it?
band and Manran.
Mhm.
And Manran are coming up for the Tall Ships to play in Cullevo in Shetland when it comes on this year. Mr. Gary
Nice.
Innes, previous guest on the show. They're a presenter of Take the Floor on the accordion there. Wonderful having Maggie on there as a guest. Absolutely
Yes,
lovely,
really good.
lovely person, great musician, and I think on her website she says, if something's enjoyable in life, do it.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Good point.
let the wind lead you.
Good point. Absolutely brilliant. Who have we got as our guest next week, Davey?
We have the bass player, producer extraordinaire, Duncan Lyle.
Wow, it's going to be fantastic having Duncan on. Have we ever had a bass player on before? Is this a first? I think it's
Not knowingly.
Not knowingly.
Not knowingly.
Anyway, really looking forward to having Duncan on next week as well.
Also,
yeah.
before we go, I've been asked by a certain Mr. McLeod to mention that the Neil Gow Fiddle Festival is in Dunkeld from Friday 17th to Sunday 19th of March. That is this month.
That would be a fantastic event. Fantastic event.
Yes, looks really good this year.
Yeah, great players, great organisation, and just great music. There'll be some smashing stuff.
Ryan Young, Pete Clark.
Just a wee shout out to Alan Small, the accordion player. I think Alan's just not been so well for a couple of days, and I noticed they'd had to cancel the lounge last night, so I was just checking on him, and he's all right, folks, but he's just had popped into hospital and back out with the sounds of things. So, and another very, very sad thing is the passing of Ernie Curry down in Dumfries. Ernie was a follower of the shows right since we started in lockdown.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, during all these times, it just shows you how we get to know each other. He lost his granddaughter. She was just very young. And then Ernie himself had a bad stroke. And I wrote him a wee tune in the middle of all that to cheer him up and things as well. And the Ernie Curry two-step. And our thoughts go out to all the family and everything, because he was a great supporter of all the shows. Great guy. It was nice. It's one of the genuine friendships I can say I've made over the internet, because we didn't really know each other that well before it all started, but we kept in touch after it. So it's been fantastic. So thoughts to all the Curry family down in Dumfries. So, anything else we have got for tonight, Davey?
Not for tonight, Pierre. We will.
You know what? It's fun like places that the dog went out for a wee while and nearly got lost in the snow out there, and it's come in and it's got all these snowballs stuck to its fur. So
she's got snowballs.
So snowballs. It's a female dog. It can't. Right. Anyway, so I'm gonna go and defrost the dog, and we'll see what happens. I hope the snow doesn't hit you too heavily down your way. You never know, David. Snow day, maybe. So anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tonight. It's been great fun. Wonderful audience. Please join us next week. We're on every week. We've got guests right through. We're on 8 o'clock every week on Tartan Tunes.
Maybe have a 2-week holiday, but that's a different story.
But we're maybe I was maybe going to try and do that for Turkey, wasn't I?
Yeah, but the internet might not be great at the moment.
Maybe no.
No,
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll review. We'll review as the month goes through what's happening. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, David. Thank you very much for all your work again, and take care, folks. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank you.